I got the this is gonna be the current and last draft order. As it pertains to the NFL season is concerned, there will be some flip flopping. Teams are gonna trade. Oh, by the way, after this particular draft, I'm gonna be doing mostly drafts with trades. How I see teams can help rebuild their teams. It's gonna be a lot of quarterbacks being traded, stuff like that. So, and that's gonna be a little bit more interactive. This is gonna be a 3-round mock. So, like I said in my previous videos, anytime I do more than a 2-rounder, I'm kind of gonna already have the draft pre-done. Only because for time constraints, I don't want to. You got a life, so do I. I don't want to, have you here all day looking at a damn draft. I get it. So, if you want my like, share, and subscribe, we're gonna jump straight into it. Number one, Cam Ward. People keep doing, I think, overthinking this pick. I'm not particularly sure why. Uh, they need a quarterback back. They desperate. And then you think about it. Quarterback. See, this is the thing I don't think people are understanding. Quarterbacks make your team better also. Just because they may not be starting at the moment, just because they're not playing when you want them to play, they help make your team better. If Cam Ward goes to the Tennessee Titans, if anything else, he'll make Levis better. He's going to have to compete with Levis, and Levis is going to have to compete and make the best man win. That's how you, unless you have an established starter at a position, you always have a guys competing. That's what makes teams like think about college teams like uh Alabama and all that. They have plenty of players who can play at any given time, sitting on the bench. That's why they're so good is because they're constantly competing, constantly. Now they feel secure in their position. It's not like they get taken out, they make a mistake. I've seen guys make mistakes on Alabama, but overall they do have to play well. They do have to and they do have to sustain that type of play. And then that's just what it is. So this idea of getting just having one quarterback and that's idiotic. I'm not idiotic. It's a bad choice of words. That's a little misguided in 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 thinking about how to structure a team. So Cam Ward, they desperate for a quarterback. If anything else, he makes Levis compete. Then you got Travis Hunter. Most people see him as the best player in the draft. I think that's an argument that can be had. But he definitely feels a need. He gives them a weapon, something they never really had before. Because his ability to play wide receiver, his ability to play corner. I mean, if you're a coach, you're a team, you really appreciate that. Oh, and by the way, the first round will be a little bit more in depth. Second round, I'm gonna be a little less, and third round a little less, and you know what I mean to kind of help things move along. Shador Sanders goes to New York, of course. That makes all the sense in the world. And some guy from CBS, I can't remember his name. I wish I remembered his name. He gave a play, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because this misnomer that maybe Shador shouldn't is not worth a first round. I think that's bullshit. They did a player comp of Shador here recently, and I thought it was perfect of Geno Smith and Shador Sanders. I would take Geno Smith in the first round. If I can get the play from Geno Smith that he's been doing the last 3-4 years, I would take Geno Smith in the first round, especially when there's not a whole lot of quarterbacks available. So, and we're gonna get more in depth in that when we talk about trades and different things like that. But right now, we're gonna take the draft as is. But I like Shador. He's been a top quarterback for me for the last couple years. Then you got Teddy McMillan going to the Patriots. Well received will be a well received player. They need him. His style of play also it makes a big difference. Then you have him with May. You can pair him with May. You can use Teddy McMillan in a few different ways. So Will Johnson comes off the board next cornerback. That's been I'm not gonna harp on that too much because that's been pretty pretty consistent all my drafts and most people's drafts as well. Not everybody's, but most people kind of see it that way also. Abdul Carter goes off next. Very good player. Most of us been marking. Now that the draft order has changed, um, this makes a lot of sense to me. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna show you how if you draft properly. See, this is the thing. Last year, I thought the Raiders should have took Joe Milton. Now, had they took Joe Milton in the draft, but see, this is what happens when people are doing too much and trying to. overthinking the draft, not getting quarterbacks. If you need a quarterback, get a quarterback. Get the highest quarterback. Maybe no, don't don't matter what round it is. I mean, it doesn't matter after the first round. Excuse me, it don't matter too much after the first round. If you got a second round, great, pick him up in the second round. If you know how to draft in general, it don't really matter. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can get talent from the sixth round, the seventh round. If these guys are producing, they're producing, no matter what round you pick them in. So people are so concerned about the rounds. It's about the player, the team fit, and how he's being coached. Those are the most important things, not what round the guy goes in. I mean, that's important. Um, in the first and second round, third round, a little less, but yeah, I mean, it does have, it is important, but don't harp on that too much. You know what I mean? So don't. Kevin Banks goes right here. Um, they happy they can get this play. Now it's between him, obviously, and most people say Mason Graham, but they really need offensive line help. I think we got some plans for them offensively here in this draft, my mock draft. So we're gonna see where we go with that. There's, so let's, I just like the idea of getting Kelvin Banks there. Mason Graham goes to Carolina. It's a good fit. These last two picks, I just like the fit of both players at those respective teams. Will Campbell goes off next. The more I see these two play a team collab, I like or marriage, however you want to put it. Uh, I like it more and more. I do. Ursary, I think Ursary is going to be a good pro. I think he's going to be a solid pro. You need some offensive line help bad there in Chicago. You get a nice tackle right here. Next comes off the board, probably arguably the best tackle in the draft. You can argue that. Josh Simmons. The injury, he goes to a place that it don't really matter. The culture there and the coaching there is so good that he can sit a while. He can maybe redshirt even if he needed to, which I don't know I don't know if they'll do that or not, but don't really matter because John Lynch, GM in there. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's going to get the right guy. Um, Wanted to make this screen kind of small. I didn't want to have too many picks coming off like that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. Yeah, Josh Simmons. So there you go. Do I think Cowboys are going to do this? No. Kenneth Grant goes off next. I like Kenneth Grant a lot. Get some good pass. I like his pass rush. He got a big dude with a sneaky pass rush. I like that. I enjoy watching this film. Jalen Walker goes up next and do a multitude of things. We know how talented he is in this draft. Stand up. He can stand up, play the inside. I like him standing up. I like him doing both actually. You know, but you have an opportunity just to see what he does best on a continuous basis. But I like him standing up as well. So Nick Scrouton comes off the boy. I think he's going to test well as well. Nick Scrouton. I think he's going to be a lot stronger than people may suspect. Maybe I could be wrong, but he's going to be kind of strong. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to test well in general. So, and I like the player he is. I do. I'm starting to. The more I see him, the more games he played in. I liked what I started to see. Um, his teammate goes off right behind him. I like this kid a lot. I think he can play in the 3-4 and the 4-3. He has some versatility there. He's talented. Mikael Williams, strong. I think he's going to test well as well. He's a lot stronger than I originally realized. The more I watched his tape, he handles blocks fairly well, and he knows how to get in the backfield. That's not an easy thing to do. So, as we all know, Wyatt Miller comes off next, solid player. I always, excuse me, let me drink some water. Excuse me. Millum has always I kind of always seen him to the Seahawks here. I just like the fit. It's always kind of seen that way. Tyleek Williams, every draft I have done, for the most part, I think one I did, I put Savannah there, but most of the drafts I've done, Tyleek Williams has went to the Houston Texans. Just makes all the sense in the world to me. Tyler Warren comes off next. It's the fit. Good player, they need his they could use his versatility, his ability to block. Also, he's I wouldn't say an underrated blocker, but he's a pretty good blocker from what I observed. He is a pretty good blocker, and why people don't see that, I always get because people don't talk about these things, and I get confused. Like, well, what's the issue? So as long as I do my due diligence and I grade him the way I feel is appropriate, that that usually works out. That usually is enough for me. I would say it works out, but that's usually enough for me personally. Luther Burden comes off next slot receiver. Go with Mike Evans. He'll get groomed properly in that offense. They clicking. Baker knows how to run a team. Baker knows how to lead a team. Knows how to lead a team. I think his respect for Mike Evans kind of helped steer him that way. His uh his stint with the Rams helped him overall in general, especially as it pertains to the technical side of football and the playing aspect. So I think Baker has become a legitimate, complete quarterback. He's not finished. You never finish growing. That's not what I'm saying. But he's a guy who can do it over the long haul, and you don't mind giving your organization to. And you bring a guy like Luther Burden in, he can just be talented. He can just play football. He don't have to do a lot of extra stuff or thinking. He just needs to focus on football. He could be all right. Now Malachi Starks with the Pittsburgh Steelers, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Being groomed in that defense and their style of play. Oh man, that could be serious. That could be serious. Jahad Campbell. Some people see it as the first round. I think that's a bad idea. Uh, like I said, I always have premiums on running backs and linebackers. Always. So that's just me. But Jahad Campbell, they need to stop just putting guys there. They have some guys who can play, but they need to get more talented there. They need to stop just putting guys there and just hoping for the best. That's kind of what they do. Put a legitimate guy there who has first round talent. See what he can do in your defense. Makes a lot of sense. Siobhan Revel, big corner, plays plays smaller than he is. Strong hands. Keeps up with and have and is technically sound. Um, Goes to Green Bay, fits in well. Coastal Love. I said this before. This is gonna be fun to watch. Loveland with the Chargers. That's gonna be fun to watch, and I know the quarterback and the rest of the team is gonna like getting him involved in what they do. Now we all know how important tight ends are, especially in today's NFL. James Pierce don't really have to do nothing but just come and be an athlete. You're not looking for him. If you can get 6 to 7 sacks and you can get 40 to 50 tackles, you're not mad at this pick right here. I think he can give you that first year. I think he can give you that. You're not mad at this pick. He's contributing, and he's going to get better. He's going to continue to grow. And then I see him more as a playmaker, though. He's a playmaker to me. So use him to make plays. Marcus Embo, I think is going to be a first rounder before it's all said and done. Cameron Williams, some people think he slipped. I just think this is the right time for him to get picked. He goes to Minnesota, and hopefully they get the coach contract taken care of because that needs to be taken care of immediately, and they go ahead and solidify. Well, hopefully for other teams they decide to trade uh McCarthy, but if they don't, excuse me, they decide to trade JJ. For them, I don't think they should, and I think they should also retain Darnold and have the same thing. I mean, why you wouldn't do that would be beyond me. I don't know what kind of thinking not to rehire the coach, not to bring back Darnold, and not to keep JJ in this way. Continue to develop him, and you know, don't forget quarterbacks also offer trade value in the long haul. So at some point, I don't think I would give up. I would definitely wouldn't give up a one for JJ, but uh, a two, yeah, yeah, even a couple years from now, maybe he still warrants a two. Who knows? Who knows how he plays in preseason? Who knows? So I wouldn't mess with the formula they got going there now. Benjamin Marson, good player, needs some more developing, but first round talent, and he will get that because they have a culture there of defensive back, and it'll groom him and help him grow. I think Princely Umamelin is a first round pick. In my opinion, he goes late in the first round to a team that will definitely develop his skill. He's gonna. I think he could be very good with Eagles. He's that type of player. Anthony Belt. He was a guy that I couldn't understand why he was so low. He was one, and see, offensive linemen are like this because they're listen. Other players, any other player, any other position, D line, any other position, you always on it as an evaluator. But when it comes to offensive line, there's limited information on these guys, so you really have to do your due diligence. Now, I know what I see on tape, but do I know about his character? Do I know about these other things that go into evaluating the player? No, because there's limited information. So I had to kind of wait it out just so I was being thorough as possible to see, do my due diligence. What's going on? Is there a character? Is there a character issue? Is there an injury issue? Um, there was none of either. So this is where I see him. I think he's talented. And he goes to a team that will be able to groom him properly. So Jack Sawyer. Now, I don't necessarily listen. This makes all the sense in the world right here for the Detroit Lions. I think everybody kind of sees Sawyer going to the Lions. Makes a lot of sense, and their style of play and what they like to do. Um, Sawyer is definitely a lion kind of a player. They have a multitude of ways. The Lions are very dynamic that way. They have a multitude of ways they like to evaluate players, but he fits a certain criteria for them, and somebody who I think could fit right in. Now, second round, we're gonna try to move a little bit faster, but I'm gonna try to be as thorough as possible. You know how that goes. So Jalen Milroe goes right here, be able to sit. They restructured Watson's contract, so he'll have time to sit, watch. He also might play. Watson has been injury prone. You know what I mean. So that has been an issue of his. So amongst other things, I think it might be time for him to leave. I don't know why they restructured him. If I was them, I would have traded him. Definitely, that would have been an idea. I mean, if it was at all possible, it's a lot of money involved. So, um, you know, I don't know what they're trying to do there. Really, it's a little confused. So I'm not gonna get too much into that. You got because I just don't know. That's why. I mean, I would, but who knows what they're gonna do? Armand Mimbo, talented player. He's gonna move up in the drafts. In the draft. Can't wait to see how he tests. I don't think it's going to be the end all be all with him, but he could really do himself a lot of favors if he tests pretty well. Make sure that bench is right and all the rest of that stuff. Johnny Barron, first round talent. Get him right here the second round. Savanair has late first round talent, especially if you had plenty of guys come off the board. Goes right here to Jacksonville. Some people don't think they need the interior help. They'll find somewhere to structure him on the line. They'll put him somewhere. Inside is going to be where he plays, but I'm saying I'm telling you, when you need and you have offensive linemen, you have talented ones, you do what you need to do. And some guys will surprise you. Now, I'm not saying he could go out and play tackle and be the best tackle in the world. I'm saying he could spot you on a couple games, few games, if needed, and maybe give you some work from there, as it pertains, when injuries happen and these kind of things. You're not panicking. You got a guy who has that experience, but, more suited on the inside, but has that experience. And I think could play if decent enough to that you're not panicking too much. You probably want to get another guy in, but you're not panicking too much. So Raiders get a quarterback, Carson Beck. We were talking about him in the first round not too long ago. They didn't reach. Now the whole thing with Milroe, I had been mocking him to the first round for the longest, but he really played himself out of the first round. And the main reason why I don't have him going in the first round also is because I think it's pretty unanimous, and I think the consensus is that then nobody's going to touch him before the first round, and so excuse me, before the second round. So because of that, there's a better chance that maybe a team who wants him getting him a little later on in the process, and that's why we got here. And then Look, they got Abdul Carter, now they got Carson Beck. Didn't reach on the quarterback, but they got a legitimate guy and give Pierce a legitimate chance. Because I think Pierce can build the culture there. He's shown that he has the ability to do that. But who's gonna win without a quarterback? I don't have the slightest clue. But anyway, I went. I guess you could say I doubled down on corner. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I have that. Excuse me. I had that backwards. Um, my fault. I had that backwards. Trey Amos. I'm looking at my notes. I had that backwards. I was looking at my notes. Sorry about that. Trey Amos goes right here. They need the help on the at the corner position. He goes along with Gonzalez and the rest of those guys. Very talented player, good player. I think he can play in the nickel as well. Play on the outside. Really, he's versatile that way. Omarion Hampton, very good back. We all know how talented he is. We got some people mocking him to the first round. That's how talented he is. If you see him at the first round and you mock him at the first round, that's just what it is. But we all know how talented that kid is. Nick Iman Worry. The more I look at this pick, the more I like it for the Saints. Also, Iman Worry has an opportunity to grow with the Saints. But we all know how talented he is. We all know how good he is. Could find himself in the first round. He has that kind of talent. So don't be surprised if you see that. Derek Harmon has first round talent. It's just I won't say he slips here because slips is guys. I just feel like guys go where they need to go. I think that's how I try to draft guys. Go where they need to go. Derek Harmon right here, perfect, perfect player for their line and what they try to do there. Azaraku, I think as the draft comes along, I think he's gonna play himself into the earlier mid second round. I like him here for the Jets. Barrett Carter, nice player. Lo- always love watching his tape. He goes to a team who will be able to develop him properly. Don't have to do anything too soon. That's important for everybody who gets drafted. You don't want these young players to come in and have to do too much unless they show that they're able to. And you got a guy like Barrett Carter. He could play in that defense. He'll definitely be on special teams. He could do a lot of things for you. He's gonna eventually start one day. Landon Jackson. This has been my second round pick for the longest. That just makes all the sense in the world. Xavier Watts goes off next. I love the way Xavier Watts plays. He's tough. He's smart. That's the biggest thing with Xavier Watts. He is smart, and whether you notice or not, the Colts have a culture there. My favorite football player of all time is a guy named Bob Sanders. He used to play for the Colts, and whenever he was on the field, they had the number one defense. Whenever he wasn't, they had the last. It went straight like that. But I think he set a culture there at safety with him and Bethea, and now they got a Blackman and these guys. These guys are talented players. He could go there, learn, sit again, not have to do too much. Eventually, start one day. Walter Nolan. Some people see him at the first round. I don't. I see him here, and now we kind of shored up that D line with Atlanta Falcons linebacker right here. I like this pick. They talking about trading Kyler Murray and then do what? That makes absolutely no sense. Trade Kyler Murray for what? Dante Lawson goes on that defense. You need to start building. Teams are always trying to win now. None of them think about building. Think about the think about the think about the Green Bay Packers when they had Aaron Rodgers. Think about Kansas City Chiefs right now. They always consider they bring guys in and they develop them. You understand what I'm saying? They even brought a guy in from rugby who wound up being in their practice squad and stuff like that. Zamar, he plays for somebody else now, but they developed him into a real life football player, a guy who never really played football. He played rugby, so that tells you a lot, man. I'm telling you, not everybody can't do that. That the kid gets opportunity somewhere else, and legitimate opportunity, and they teach him how to play. I seen this playing rugby, then I seen him play football. They taught him how to play. Emory Jones comes off the board next. I'm pretty sure they like that pick, and the next pick is Josh Connolly. These can be in reverse very easily, but I think Emory Jones fits their style of play just a bit more. Connolly is going to be a good player. Needs a little bit more development. He's going to be a good player. Egbuka, this is a natural fit for me. They got some contracts coming up at the wide receiver position. They got some questions. You can kind of answer a lot of those with Egbuka. Then you got Then you got Jabba there now. I think it makes a lot of sense. Tyler Booker, listen, put him on the offensive line, put him in your offensive line room, figure the rest of it out. Move guys where you need to, adjust how you need to adjust. But he is a talented player. Booker is. AC Thomas, I think by the time the draft comes around, you're going to see him in the second round. I think he's going to test well as well. Alpha Collins, really like him for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Gets good penetration. He's hard to move, and he's a lot athletic. He's a better athlete than he gets credit for. Josiah Stewart, I got a second round grade on him. Some people got a fourth round grade. I don't agree with that. I think he's a legitimate, talented, and pass rusher and has some gifts. Now, if he blows the test out of the water, are you talking about early second round, maybe late first? I mean, if he just blows the test and out of the water, we have to see. Caleb Johnson has time to sit, become a good running back. He'll play plenty. We all know aggressive at the point of attack, aggressive on the boundaries, smart. I think he's, I say instinctual running back, and not scared to make a play. That's the thing. He's you can see he's trying to develop into a little bit of a playmaker. So interested to see Mike Green goes here. They got guys in front of him. He's gonna need coaching. He's gonna need a lot of coaching. He's gonna need to get in the weight room a little bit. Yeah, he's able to do that here. Donovan Jackson, another one of these talented Ohio State offensive linemen. Um, Goes right here. Deion Walker. This player, it's almost something. I think this is going to be a sentimental moment for Deion Walker to go to the Baltimore Ravens. He's going to feel like he's going to slip, but I just think he's going to go where he needs to go. Baltimore Ravens make all the sense in the world. It's not probably where he wants to go, but it's where he needs to go. They'll develop him. He'll be good with them. He'll start sooner rather than later. He'll get an opportunity to really play, whether he's starting or not. He will definitely be a contributing factor as long as he continues to go about the process of becoming better and getting into his playbooks and doing that. Don't be lazy. Just that's my key for him. Just don't be. He's gonna have to really get into it. They got that culture there. They teach him how to look at film. Get him going in that regards. I like the idea. Savion Williams, give them a nice profile wide receiver here for Washington. Big physical receiver, very athletic. I wanted to see him I want to see him continue to develop as a route runner, and he's nice in his routes. But I want to see the whole tree. I want to see him start to open up his routes again. Lathan is another one of these guys who I had a high grade on. For some reason, he was always low on people board, so I had to do my due diligence. I started watching all the games. I tape these games. Like I said, I have a full time job, so I can't watch all these games in real time. So I tape these games. I watch them. I said, listen. Hopefully he tests well. I don't know how well he's gonna test. I think he's more football player than tester. So I don't know how well he's gonna test, but either way it goes, I think he'll be very good. And they have a culture of safety here. Chris Paul goes very good with their defense. They like guys who can fly around sideline to sideline. Um, that's kind of what they're used to, and they like smart football players. I think he's instinctual more than smart. I think he's gonna have to develop that. His IQ, I don't think it's bad by any means, but he's gonna have to continue to develop that, and he's gonna fit in nicely with their linebacker core. Jonas Sanka, I have a high grade. I have a higher grade than most on Jonas Sanka. He's gonna need developing too, like all these guys, but all these guys do. And I really like him, and he's not you're not looking for him to start or anything. You just want him on your squad. Something ever happens, you got a very talented player right here in Sanka. Harold Fanning Jr. He gets to develop. Who knows how long Travis Kelsey is going to be there, but you got a guy like Fanning, who, and I think is a lot more physical than he gets credit for. And then you take him to a team who's really going to teach him how to hone his skills. That's going to be something to watch. Isaiah Bond, nice receiver for them. I think he's going to be a little. I think he's going to be with a team like Detroit. I think he's going to be a little bit more dependable than most people do. But he has to go to the right team. Trey Harris comes off next to the Giants. They could use another receiver. Contracts coming up. There's a lot going on there. They could use another receiver. They get a talented one right there. Jalen Royals. So they get back-to-back weapons. You're talking about Kansas City. Um, I don't think you can beat that. Elick, Ayan Maynor. Hey, I don't want to mess up anybody's name. Give me a second. I have to adjust this. Hopefully, I'm not too loud. Apologies if I am. Um, yeah, so we got Ayo Maynor, big physical receiver. Um, needs to do a little bit better by high pointing the ball. He's not bad there. He's good. He does it when he thinks about it, but he needs to make that a little bit more of a repertoire. Like doing that every. I mean, just learn on and snatching the ball out of there. He'll get some coaching there. You know, the GM is good there. The coaching is pretty good there. So I think he'll be groomed properly. Maxwell could play a multitude positions in the defensive backfield. I like him. I have a second round grade on him, but I just think he kind of falls here to the Raiders, which is if you him, you're not mad at this at all. He's gonna make the team. So and he can also play on the outside. So TJ Sanders gets good penetration and there's something natural about TJ. He has a natural kind of football quality to him. I really like him as a football player. Johnny Cornelius, don't be surprised you see a Johnny Cornelius getting to the second round. He could test his way up there. LT Overton. Some people have him in the first round. I seen people have him in the first round, and usually the general consensus is the second round. I think third round because he still needs some refining, but he's very talented. So Stutzman, it's the profile. He's a smart, very smart football player. They have some talent there now. Who knows how contracts are going to shape up? But we're going to see. And he's a smart football player, very much a bear kind of a player to me. Um, as far as like how he'll be able to contribute, what he'll be able to do, what they'll ask him to do. They're trying to come after my coach McCarthy. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't mind McCarthy. It's just I think he needs to continue to develop himself. Talk about the coach McCarthy, but the Bears want him bad. Uh, they've been talking about it for a while. It's been kind of out there. So from what I understand, um, Jaden Higgins, pretty very good receiver right here. They don't have to do much of anything um, with him. There are some contracts coming up, and there's plenty of room for him to play here. So we have a pretty nice draft. We're going to reiterate a few things. I really want to look at when I'm done with this. Look, I wish I can do this team by team, and I will show you that way. Hopefully that gets that happens. I know that on the other website they do it, but I'm talking about why I have it done like this after I do my second rounders or whatever the case may be. Let me see something. Okay, so to make sure, Restrepo, Carolina, nice receiver for them. He's gonna catch a lot of ball. Him and what they got there now, I think they'll be excited to get him on the field and kind of help out the young quarterback a little bit. And if this was a 4 round, I'm just telling you right now, I would have had Quinn Ewers going to the Carolina Panthers as strictly a backup. I don't think he's ready to start. I don't think he can start. He may not even be able to start the rest of his career. Talking about Ewers, but I definitely see him as a decent backup, a guy who you can develop. You have him as your third quarterback right now, all with the intentions on developing him as a number two guy. Then listen, um, you know, my man there, he's used he went to Alabama, so he's used to playing. He's used to competition that might bring out the best in him. So a little competition won't hurt him. JT Tamor loud. Some people think he falls here. I just think this is where he's supposed to go. I think it makes a lot of sense. Don't overdraft on him. He's going to continue to develop. He's going to be a nice player in their scheme, in their defense. Shamar Turner, he, I like the fact that he gained some weight and then keep him football focused. He's very much a Jerry Jones kind of guy. I think Jerry Jones would definitely do that. Can you kind of show up that D line? Ashton Gillette, I have a late third round grade on him, early fourth. This is where he goes. Good team, good fit. Fits can play in the 3-4-4-3, play on the edge on in both defenses. He's a pretty versatile. He's talented. He makes plays. He's a he's really what you used to seeing for like the pay like something like a Mike Vrabel was or Teddy what was his name? Ted Bruschi. Yes, I hate messing up people's names, so I'm always nervous about that. Grades able. Some people have a second round grade on him. I don't. I think he's a third round pick. Mason Taylor, good player right here. Gets to develop with Daniels. Sitch, he might be a third tight end at the current moment. Whatever, don't matter. I think it's just a couple contracts coming up there too. So nice player there, man. Can really do a lot of things with him. Kyle Kennard does a good job on the edge. He's very much he's very much an edge player. Certain packages, I would shoot him up the middle, but for the most part, no Diddy. But for the most part, he maintains the edge very well. He really does a good job of doing that. He's talented, but he's solid as well. You know, I think they could really use that kind of profile in their team. Quinshawn Judkins adds a little juice to the backfield. Jordan Burke, talented kid. Um, I said if he goes back to school, he'll definitely be in the top 3 rounds. And here he goes in the third round, gets to stay over there on the West Coast, up in the up in that in that Washington area, that Oregon area. So Andrew Makuba, versatile, very good player, and you're always looking for where can a guy develop, what makes a lot of sense. Right here, he could do a little bit of everything, but don't have to do anything too soon. He can sit back. He's very good at safety. He can even spot you at corner and do a pretty good job, especially in the nickel. So Kobe Hudson, I've been mocking him to them for the longest. Sometimes second round, sometimes third round. Now that the order has see that's what's so interesting about it when all the when all the games stop and the draft order is final, you really everything kind of settles in and everything when you're doing your evaluating, they usually settle in real nice if you going about it the right way. If you're going about it, how you need to go about it, how you want to go about it. You know what I mean? Oronde Gaston is a weapon. Who knows? Nobody knows what to do with weapons better than McVay. He'll scheme them, and he's a lot better. He's a lot better blocker than he gets credit for. Blake Miller, just a nice fit for them. I don't know. He might be the number two. He's going to be a rotational player. He's going to be that type of guy. But he's a nice fit. I think he could start one day. I think he could start one day. I really like this fit right here. Billy Bowman to the Denver Broncos. He could play strong and free. I like him in the box too. When he comes down in the box, I like him there. Does a lot of good things. Smart football player. Denver has always had that smart football player kind of thing in their defensive backfield. There's kind of a culture of that. So he kind of falls in line with that. Jeffrey Boss, very good athlete, very good linebacker. There's room for him here, and it's about the development. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. If I say that too much, forgive me, but that's to me is of most importance. Develop. Where can a guy develop? Where does that make sense at? It makes sense right here for Bossa with them. Travion Henderson, he'll contribute early. They won't ask him to do too much, but he will contribute early. Scatterbo. You see my boy Scatterbo. Now you're gonna have to know how to use Scatterbo. They have some ideas. They had Taysom Hill and they know how to gimmick out. Even it's not Sean Payton anymore, but still the understanding is there. Um he's a fullback. Scatterbo is really a old school um fullback who can run. Simple point blank. People say, well, he's a running back. He's a fullback. And you're gonna have to know what to do. He's a goal line running back. He can be a goal line fullback for you as well. But that's what he is. If you're looking for anything more than that, you're misprofiled. You're not profiling him correctly. Elijah Arroyo, will be very good with the Baltimore Ravens. That see how his development going. I'm gonna be paying attention to that. Kyron Lacy, big, physical, strong receiver, good hands, decent speed for his size. Gives them another kind of profile there in Jacksonville. I like it. Nazir Stackhouse, one of my favorite players. I love nose tackles. So I love nose tackles. So Nazir Stackhouse, he's another one of these big guys. Got a sneaky pass rush. He's not looking to pass rush. See, that's the thing. He's not looking for. But when he tries, he can get back there. he he can get back there. But I love watching his film. He would be high. He would be somebody who, if I was the GM for a team, I would really be looking at him. He would be at the top of my board as it pertains to my nose tackles. Gunnar Helm, good player, good solid player. Um, can do a little bit of everything. I think he could possibly develop into a pretty talented. I think he's gonna have to play though. Gunnar Helm. He's gonna need to get in there. They're not gonna need to sit him too much. He's gonna need to get his. He's gonna need to get acclimated, and the sooner the better for Helm. He's gonna need to play. I think he has an opportunity here. They'll scheme him and give him some opportunities when they game planning and do him like that. Even if it's blocking, he needs to feel the game. He needs to be in the rotation. Uh, Kevin Winston, he goes to the perfect place for him. A place that they're gonna see. You're gonna hear me use that word developing. A place that's going to develop him and kind of give him the certain things that he's missing. They can get the best out of him. Now next, we're gonna go quarterback. Jackson Dart, developmental player. They got Rudolph there now. I don't know if he's on. I think he's on injury reserve or he might be on the practice squad. I'm not particularly sure, but he's in the building as far as I know. The last I seen, which was yesterday, so he's still on their roster. They compete. I know. Listen, it seems like Aaron Rodgers is willing to sit there and teach a guy and help develop a guy. He was open to that. I don't know how open they are to it. They seem like they don't want, but I would imagine that they'll keep Aaron Rodgers for one more year and allow a guy like Dart to kind of study under him. And this way, next year, if a guy comes along and they're able to get him, talking about a quarterback, and he's really high on their board, he got a high grade on him, they can take him. But if they don't have to rush. See, this is why drafting a quarterback when you need one is important. Drafting a quarterback in general is important because you 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 take a lot of the pressure off the organization in general, where you can just kind of you have more tools at your disposal. Never forget, quarterbacks offer good trade value. Never forget that. So whether you get him now and then you realize, okay, well maybe we could trade him up to trade him off, but at least you have a guy in the building who you can develop and try to get the best out of. Demonte Capehart, I got a second round. I got a second round grade on him. They get him here in the third. Fadil Diggs and Ty Felton, very good football players. Very good football players right there, and they get him uh um Tyreek Hill talking about leaving. If you want to leave, let him leave. I'm not into keeping anything that don't want to be kept. So if he wants to leave, let him leave. Move on with your organization. He's fast. He's so talented, but he offers trade value. So you'll get some good stuff back from him and continue to grow in that way. Sebastian Castro, I like this pick. I like this pick. The second to last pick, by the way. I like this pick for them. He feels that he can play strong and free. I like guys who can do that, and he's a smart football player. He plays safety like a linebacker, like a decent, good linebacker. Um, he has some good instincts, and who's going to develop him better than John Lynch? He's not going to start. I'm not looking for him to start. I don't need him to start. I just like him on the roster. I like him as my number two. He's probably more likely he translates more as a strong safety. So him as my number two strong safety, I don't mind that at all. That sounds good to me. And underrated player in this draft, Keandre Lambert Smith. I like what he does. He needs to go to the right team, but who uh who can get the best out of guys than especially offensively than Sean McVay. Scheme him in there. Very talented kid. Can run down the field really well. Can take the top off at certain times. Um, I like him when he kind of like posts things like that. He's hard for teams to you know what I mean. He's hard for teams to deal with that way. His athleticism, and I think he's deceptively strong. So I want to look back at the Raiders real fast. Abdul Carter. Let's keep a track. If you're a Raiders fan, especially keep track of this. We got him a quarterback, Carson Beck. So we got him a premier pass rusher on paper, as far as the draft is concerned. And then we got him a quarterback. We got him a legitimate pass rusher. Let me say that. You got to show that you premier. You got to prove that. Then we got him Harrison in the defensive backfield. And this is a draft. Now, can Telesco do this? Telesco, I don't know. I don't know. I don't speak about other people's shit like that. Jaden Higgins, give him a legitimate wide receiver threat. And I think that's the end of it. That's a draft. Telesco, I don't know I never was the biggest fan of any of his drafts. Not saying he's not good at his job. I'm not. It's not for me to say, but um, yeah, man. Like I said, I don't want to do too much reiteration. I was going, but I just skimmed it right there. I was looking for a specific team, but um, one more time. I'll do it one more time. I'm gonna do it kind of fast, so please, I'm gonna make stops in between, not too frequent though. Apologies for that. The the app is kind of, or rather, yeah, my screen thing is messing up a little bit. But that's the draft. Like I said, after this draft, I'm going to be doing mostly drafts with trades. There's going to be a little bit more interactive. I probably do 1 round mocks with that or 2 round mocks. I usually don't like to do anything less than a 2 round mock. 1 round is just not thorough enough for me. So it's going to be 2 round mocks more than likely, and it will be um, uh, uh, um, mostly about trades and these kind of things leading up to the combine. And once the combine happens, I'll have a draft there. Somebody asked me, um, somebody I work with who watches my videos, asked me, will I do a 7 round mock? I will do a 7 round mock, but that's going to be that's going to be right before the draft. I'll give you my 7 round mock and then we'll do it like that. But I won't do a 7 round mock, maybe like a week or a few days before the draft, something like that. So if you want my like, share, subscribing, appreciate all your comments. You guys make a lot of good points. Really provokes thought. Anything that provokes thought with me is interesting. So I mean it when I say it. I very much appreciate it and appreciate the views and everything else. So I appreciate you for watching and I appreciate you for listening.